Hello and welcome to the tutorial on comparing numbers. And in this tutorial we're going to go through numbers up to 50 and we're going to use the number grid. So first, do you recall what the different symbols are that we use when comparing numbers? Let's write them here on the right hand side. We've got an arrow pointing this way. That means less than. We've got equals. And finally we've got greater than. So let's work through our first example. Now suppose we have these numbers. We've got 38 and we've got number 24. Now which of the symbols do you think goes in the middle over here? Which one do you think goes in the middle over here? Now there's more than one way to do this. As we said, we're going to use the number grid. So I'm going to show you the number grid over here. There it is. And the number grid is simply a box with numbers. It can start at any number and end at any number. Our one starts from 1 at the top left and ends at 100. It's a bit like snakes and ladders. You start off at number 1 and your goal is to get to 100. That's in snakes and ladders. So you know that number 1 is the smallest number and the number 100 is the finishing line. It's the largest number. So let's have a look at 38. Where does 38? Can you find 38 on the number grid? Good. Now see where number 24 is. Which number is smaller? That's right. Which number comes first? And the number that comes first is 24. So the symbol we have to put between this, let's go back to here, is this one here. 38 is the larger number. So we say 38, in fact we'll write it down over here, and say 38 is greater than 24. 38 is greater than 24. And don't forget, we can always check and say, well, which way is the arrow pointing? Don't forget, it always has to point to the smaller number. In this case, 24 is the smaller number, so it is pointing the right way. Okay, now let's have a look at one more example. This time, let's suppose we've got number 29 and we've got number 41. So we've got 29 and 41. Now I'm sure you know how to do this, but let's use the number grid again and see if it works. There we go. We've got the numbers from 1 to 100. 1 is the smallest, 100 is the largest. So I want you to find 29 on the number grid. Have you found it? Great. Now I want you to find number 41. Can you find 41? Excellent. Now which number comes first on the number grid? Suppose you start at number 1 and you go all the way across to 10, then you do 11, then you do 21, all the way across. Which number comes first? Is it 29 or 41? That's right, it's number 29. So therefore 29 is the smaller number. So the arrow that we use, and let's go back to this, the arrow that we use is this one over here. 29 is smaller than 41. In fact, we can write it down here. We can say 29 is smaller than 41. Now with this arrow, don't forget, we can always check and say, well, which way is it pointing? Is it pointing to the smaller number? Well, yes it is. 29 is smaller than 41, so that is correct. And that is how we compare numbers up to 50 using the number grid.